YouTube and welcome to another Doctor Who product review. Today I'm very happy to be here reviewing the Doctor Who First Doctor Commemorative Edition 1/6 scale collector figure from Big Chief Studios. Now this is my first ever Big Chief product. I've been looking at their line for a while now and I have been debating over their products for quite a while also, and this one finally came along and I seen the head sculpt and I was really excited by the product, and then we seen even more pictures released and I think I just had to buy it, and I had some money left over from Christmas and a few other places as well, so I decided to go out there and actually buy the thing because it is worth the money, isn't it? So yeah, this is a really nice commemorative edition. As it said, there is no limited version and signed edition compared to all of the other different versions. There's in fact only one edition for just under £200. So let's take a look at the box in more detail. So on the front it's pretty basic, which is nice just to sort of represent that nice smooth effect. So yeah, on the front we have a 50th anniversary Doctor Who logo. This time though, instead of the silver embossed foil blocking, we actually have a gold version to represent the special edition that this is. At the bottom, what I do really like is we have the first Doctor's dates 1963 to 1966 and the commemorative edition 1/6 scale collector's figure nicely in a gold embossed effect. Taking a look at the sides of the box, we have once again another embossed Doctor Who logo, but we also have a nice colorized image of William Hartnell, which is nice, and we have a few stars in the background. And then on the opposite lid side we have once again another colorized image of William Hartnell. This I believe is the one where he's sort of leant over the TARDIS, and then we have the Doctor Who logo there once again embossed. Taking a look at the back, we have a few more things going on here. Really nicely presented, this box. It's rather nice and simple. So we have the BBC logo at the top, we have the embossed Big Chief gold logo, and then we have a nice image of the TARDIS, which is just like the one as seen on the backdrop, which I'll come on to a little bit later. And then we have a prototype image of William Hartnell without his cape, which is nice, and a colorized version, the only colorized picture of the actual figure on this box. And then we have a bit of a bio and the Doctor Who logo there, just about the first Doctor, with once again the title of the set running along the bottom. At the top we just have the Doctor Who logo printed once again in a nice embossed font. And then at the bottom of the box we just basically have these. We have the limited number and also some company information, and the credits also there. In most Big Chief products, the actual top is a magnetic lid. As you can see, peeling back the sides here will then reveal the TARDIS backdrop wall. TARDIS backdrop is actually a really nice print. I do believe that's either the one seen in the Doctor Who Experience or an actual promotional shot from an adventure in space and time. Taking a look on the sides of the box, we actually have some black and white promotional images of the product that can be seen in more detail on the Big Chief website, along with the specifications of the product. At the side of the box we also have more black and white images of the Doctor and a few things like Totter's Lane, the TARDIS there, and then we also have a list of the accessories, which is nice. The box itself actually comes in two trays. The first tray is the figure with its accessories, and then the second tray is the hat, scarf, and also the base. So here we have the figure itself, and doesn't it look amazing? It is actually generally really creepy of how reminiscent of William Hartnell this genuinely looks. Now the cape as well, I've decided to keep the cape on for this part of the review because I generally think the cape finishes off the product quite well, and I think it will be one of the things that I go on to first. But first we're going to be taking a look at the body and all the different parts that make the costume, as this really sets off the figure really nicely. So first, taking a look at the body. Now, taking off the cape really does give a good look at the actual jacket underneath, along with everything else with it. So as you can see, the jacket itself has been really nicely done. We do have all the buttons here along the sides. You have the collar, which has been really nicely done. I do like the way that the actual lapels of the jacket itself do actually seem to look a bit more shinier, like a different material compared to the rest of the jacket. Unfortunately, because my camera is, for some reason, it doesn't really like the colour black, so it doesn't really pick out the details so much, but the detailing of the stitching is really nicely done. As you can see, these buttons here nicely running down the side. What I do also like is we actually have a little flap here that actually leads to a pocket that does actually work. Turning the body round to go to the back of the actual jacket itself, I do like the additions of the stitching on the jacket. As you can see, they're holding it into different lights. You can actually see the stitching coming down the sides of the jacket there. We actually have a line going down the middle, and then we also have a line going across the bottom here. Now, what I do also like is we actually have the parting, as you can see, to reveal the little flap there at the bottom of his jacket, which can be used in a number of different poses to make it look rather action-like. There is also 3 buttons present on either side of the sleeve of the jacket, which is nice and gives a good effect. As shown on some of the black and white promotional images, the jacket itself is in fact also removable. This is good because it gives a closer look at the waistcoat underneath, which has got an amazing amount of detail on. So as you can see, the waistcoat patterning has been really well done and does look quite a lot like what is seen in the series itself. As of course the series was black and white back then, it was quite hard to actually see the exact detailing, but as you can see we do have the patterning there going down of stripes and different dots and things. But what I do like is this shiny gold creamy pattern that goes all the way around the sides of the jacket. So on either side of the jacket itself, we actually have two working pockets on either side, which you can actually position the fob watch in these. Along here we also have a number of buttons. Now, as you can see, once again, the back has been really nicely done. We have that cream pattern, but this time for the whole jacket itself. And we do have a stitching line going all the way down the middle with two lines there. Some good attention to detail here, as along the little belt here, we actually have a little buckle, which is nice, and does give a nice little effect, even though this is rather hidden and can only be seen when you take off the jacket, which is some things that people may not even do. We do have the detail nicely there. And as I just remembered, by moving up there, I actually have another little buckle with a little belt on there. And then moving up the waistcoat even more, as you can see there, we actually have his little suspenders, or even braces, wherever you come from in the world. We call them braces over here in the UK. Moving out his waistcoat slightly at the front, as you can actually see, we have the braces actually hold up the trousers, which I think is really cool. And then we have the little buckle on there as well. And what I do like is this is actually made of elastic, like they're actually holding up his trousers. How cool is that? Underneath, the white shirt has also been done nicely. On the arms, it does look rather baggy, which I do believe that is actually meant to look like that in the actual series. And then we also have the shirt underneath there with the two little triangular collars and the cravat. Now, on the majority of the promotional images, the cravat actually looks really well done. But because this is a small-scale product and for a cravat to actually be made, it is actually quite difficult, really. They have sort of attempted it quite well. Unfortunately, when I was moving mine from the box, the cravat actually came undone, and I lost the lovely little bow that was on it. So yeah, and I've not been able to get it right since, which is quite annoying. Then also, just moving up his arms, you can also see a little button on the very edge of his sleeve. Taking a quick look at the jacket when it's removed from the actual figure, I was a bit iffy about removing this, considering it is like quite a lot of money. I was a bit scared about hurting it somehow, but yeah, here we have the jacket itself, and it is actually really well done. As you can see, something that can't really be seen well when on the actual figure is we do have this nice lining there, which has been really nicely replicated. We do actually have a little pocket that's just under the collar on the inside of the jacket, which once again, that could be there to hold something like his pocket watch or something, and I do believe he does that in the series, so it's nice to create some scenery creations with that, I guess. Actually really happy of how easy it is to remove this. All you need to do is remove the hands and then pull back as you would expect, say on the 5-inch John Pertwee figure from Character Options, and it is fairly easy to get on and off, which I'm really happy with. As you can see, once the jacket is back onto the body, I just really like the way that the jacket itself actually just naturally flows down the body. It really makes it look like a physical, real person, physically being shrunk down from a real life product, because it just naturally sits on the body, unlike some problems that you have with figures such as Biff Bang Pow. Figures and their clothing just look so baggy, almost like they don't actually fit the product. But the good thing with this product is all of the actual material, except the cravat, actually feels like it fits the figure. The cravat just feels a little bit too big for my liking. Moving down to the trousers now, these have been done really nicely with the same pattern on, repeated over and over again. This basically is black lines with dark grey squares and lighter grey squares within them, if that makes any sense. This has been really well done, and once again, I do like the way that we have these little creases here that actually run down the sides of the trousers that have actually been manufactured to look like that, as this once again makes the figure look rather natural. Now, as you can see, once we get to the bottom of the product, as you can see, the trousers actually feel like they bag underneath the shoe. So as you can see, we have a little more creases there down to the near of the bottom of his legs, which actually makes them look extremely natural. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. Moving up the waistcoat just slightly actually reveals underneath the waistcoat also a little bit of cream, but also we do have the pockets on either side of his trousers, once again, that do actually work, and you could fit something in there. On the back of his trousers, we actually have another little pocket, and also a little gold button is present on there also. Moving down to his shoes now, these have been really nicely replicated. As you can see though, just above his shoe we do have sort of like this black sock. But on the shoe itself, this has been really nicely done. At the top we have this chocolatey brown colour with different stitching on and a little line of black buttons. And then just below that we have all these different bits of detailings of stitching and things. And then on the sole of the shoe itself, we have different little bits of detail. We do actually have a few little scuff marks and things on the bottom of the shoes just to show how they've been weathered over time, which is a really nice effect. Because even though it's not really seen that much, it's still nice that the attention to detail has actually been put in there. So now moving on to the likeness. Now this is possibly the best likeness that you are ever going to see on my channel, and is certainly the best likeness that has ever been so far in every single product that I've reviewed over the past 4 years. This is absolutely phenomenal. The amount of detail on this head is absolutely amazing. All the different shades in his face have been really added nicely just to give his age in there, and all the different creases and things and lines and marks on his face have been really added well. Just to give a start on the eyes as well, see that white reflection? Nope, that's not an actual paint application, that was through the eyes. They've been nicely glazed over to make it actually reflective, so when you have a light source hitting it, literally no matter where you look from, the light follows it around, just to actually make it how it would look like in a real photo of an eye. I've decided that it would physically be much easier to show the face actually separate from the body itself, as it is removable, which I will come on to the reason for later. But as you can see, this really does show all the different paint application on the face. Just for example, going up to his forehead here, as you can see where the wig connects to his face, we have all those different speckles along there, and all those different lines and things, and just looking at his eyes underneath there, we have all those different bags and things, and just sort of like the red line of pink and things around just the moisture of his eyes really does give that good effect. Looking to his mouth there, we have more of that amazing paint application with the purpley lips. It really does look brilliant, and all those different speckles and things. To the sides of his face there, we have even more of that shading pattern, and it generally looks quite grainy as well, which is really nice and much like a skin tone would be. The eyebrows are nicely done as well, not too bright. And then moving on to the wig itself, this has been really well done, all those different lines and things in there, really nicely done around the ears, just the way that it floats round. And what I do also like is when you turn to the back, not all of the hairs are smoothly going down. We do actually have a few there that are incorrectly placed. So the hairs on the Catcher Options wig were nicely done, and there wasn't really any sticking out in different places, which I do like the way that Big Chief have actually got that accuracy of having a few just misplaced, and then we have the pinks in there. It is generally the best likeness I've ever seen on a product, and it is absolutely amazing, and nothing, and I repeat, nothing will physically make this likeness any better. Now, adding to all that, this is also a fully articulated figure, so the head is on a ball joint, we won't move it for now. The arms are on a ball joint, so once again can move out to the sides, move up and down, and the elbows themselves are on a 180 joint, so they can actually physically move all the way around and touch his face. The wrists are on a ball joint also, so the hands can move up and down and around and to the sides, which is really nice, and it allows a lot of different poses. He's got an upper ab crunch and a lower ab crunch, so he can nicely move about there, along at the waist also. And at the legs themselves, they can move out too, but much like something in real life, the trousers actually hinder movement of the leg. And then at the knee also, they can move around, but also all the way around, like so. Feet, we also have a ball joint, which lets his feet move all the way around to the sides and everything on a ball joint. All this articulation, as well as the base, really does double up well, as when on display you can have him in a lot of different dynamic positions, along with the different hands and things as well. You can position him doing One Day I Shall Come Back in that famous scene, and all sorts of different poses. There is literally no end to any different pose this figure can do. And it's just really nice as well, because you can have it in any pose without threat of it falling over, because the base is really secure, and it just looks really cool on display, and you can make him look all action-like this, for example. He looks like, I don't know, he looks like he's waiting for a bus. So that's it for the costume actually physically on the body. As well as this, we do also have a few alternate costume pieces, such as the cape. Now, the cape itself is actually really nicely done, and I do just like the feel of it, the velvety feel. It really does feel like a good quality material. Taking a look on the inside, as you can see, it's really nicely done and shiny, much like how it was on the actual series. And then taking a look on the outside, it's much more of like a felt style material, a bit like velvet. And then taking a look at the top, we also have this really nicely done stitched felt piece, which really does set off the product really well when it's around its neck. And then we also have the detailing of the chain, which has been really well done. We have a little line there that is snarling, I do like that. And then the chain goes all the way along to have another line at the other side. Once again, this piece really does look well on the actual product. Now, turning to the physical application of this piece, this is where it gets a bit annoying. Now, I've actually pre-attached my head, because it is quite a pain to get in. As you can see, I've just put a bit of blue tack in for the purposes of this review, just so it was easier to come off, because quite frankly, this is a £200 figure, and I'm extremely scared of breaking it in a way, so I physically took the head off, and I didn't want to put it back on because I knew I would need to do it again in the review. So the way you do this is you just drape it over the actual body as so, and then just pop the chain around the head, so just like fiddle about a bit, because that's the key thing to make this figure look right. You just basically fiddle about with it, and then just say popping the head back on as so will then let you display the figure with the cape on. When the cape is actually applied to the figure, it looks really good. And I just really like the way that the velvety style material actually drapes down the body. As you can see, we actually have it sort of flailing out at the bottom here, which really makes it look like it's got a mind of its own, which is nice, and much like how a material would be in real life when it's draped down the body. It is really well done, and I just like the way that it looks very, very natural. My only little gripe, though, is I do think the way to take off the head and then put it back on again, it literally feels like the head is not meant to come off when you first attempt this, because the ball joint is that secure. And I do think that it would have been nice if the chain could actually be removed, or some little clip or clasp. Even if it did affect the design just slightly, it might have been nice to have a little clasp on the cape instead of needing to take the whole head off, because I do think it is a little bit too much effort just to put a cape on, because it could very easily be done, I would say, with a little clip, but that's just my opinion anyway. But either way, it looks really nice, and I think I'm going to be displaying it with the cape on because it just looks really cool with it on. And look at other costume pieces now. We have his scarf, which I can't even fit in shot. There we go. And now this has been really nicely done. Taking a look at the patterning, as you can see, this has got like a red and black patterning on with a few lines in there, which has been really nicely done all the way along to the tassels. Have also been really nicely done with the cream browns in there, and it's been really nicely all the singular little pieces in there, really well replicated. As I've heard, much like the Fourth Doctor scarf, this has actually got a little bit of wiring to the side, which means it can be sculpted into how you want it to be, so it may look more natural on the figure. I personally, though, I do find this quite hard to make it look natural, but what I have heard is bending it over in half as so does make it look a little bit better. And then finally, if he wasn't warm already, he does also have his little hat. He's really dressing up warm for winter, isn't he? His hat, once again, I was actually quite surprised when I heard about this, but this is actually another physical piece of material. I thought it would have been like the Fourth Doctor one, and he had a separate piece, but I do actually rather like it being a material piece. Once again, this has been really nicely done. It's sort of like a little black finger puppet, I guess, so it's got little different bits of detailing on, and then we also have these grey lines in there to represent the patterning as seen on the hat itself. Take a look on the inside, it's just sort of a bit of material. And there we have it with all these bits added. He just looks like he's just stepped out of the junkyard in the first ever episode when we first met the grumpy old man with the pipe. Going on to the hands now, these are all the hands that come in the set. So the first set of hands we have are the ones that have been on the figure for the majority of this review. This is basically the two open palmed left and right hands. All of the left hands have this really nice ring on, which is nice, with a little blue gem in. Each individual hand also has the details of some veins on, which is nice. And I do sort of find how flimsy they are quite freaky, but it's good because they can hold stuff very nicely. The other open hand is basically just got a little tiny silver ring on with the same detailing, which is nice. Next two pairs of hands are what I like to call the One Day I Shall Come Back hands. These two are basically sculpted once again to be able to practically hold his lapels. So in the character options language, this is basically like a holding sonic screwdriver style of hand, which is nice. So as you can see, got one thumb up and then all the other fingers around there. Next hand is pretty much an alone hand, really. There's nothing that really goes with it, except this is basically a right hand with, once again, the same ring on. This is basically just like a really open palm, stretched out hand, so you could do that for really anything, really, to hold something, or just to make it look like he's in an action pose. Other hand is like the smoking pipe holding hand, really, so then the final two hands are pretty similar, as they're sort of both opening hands, specifically sculpted to hold the different items. Different hands really does actually make the figure look different in different action poses and things, and it really does allow for a lot of different posability. And one thing to note is this also does come with a bag of spare parts. As you can see, these are basically the connector slash adapter things. I believe those ones are for the legs and these ones are for the hands. So basically, if there ever is a time when they would snap, which hopefully there won't, I've heard that they're quite strong, so if there ever is, you've got these spares there to help you. And then just to note as well, you also do get the spare buttons as well. So as earlier I was speaking about his pipe, well, this product does in fact come with one. Now this is probably by far my favourite accessory from them all. As you can see, this has been extremely well detailed. We have the black pipe at the top with the silver metal part and then the wooden bit, and then it's just so well done with the little sort of well piece and the hinge there. It's really nicely done, and it's so nice, and it just sets off the figure really well when on display. I was taking photos yesterday of the product, and I actually got him to hold it and make it look like he was actually using the pipe as you would. And when you put a black and white filter over it, it's on my Facebook page if you're interested, and it just looks amazing. And that is actually a note to make. If you'd like to see all these different products of these in like action in a way, and sort of with different hands and poses and things, I am probably going to be uploading photos to Facebook over the next week of these when I just fiddle around with it and have, a bit of photography with it. So yeah, if you want to see them, my link to my Facebook will be below in the description. And we also have another little accessory. This one is his little pocket watch, as I brought up earlier. This has got a nice amount of detailing on, so there's sort of like a little patterning on there, which is nice with the little buckle there. And then we have a little ribbon, and then we also have just like a little gold end piece, which is nice. So yeah, that does dangle rather nicely, and you can actually connect this to his pocket. Device is sort of like the dullest of them all, really. It is the Dalek power core, I believe, from the Dalek's master plan, I think. See, it's just a plastic cylindrical tube thing. We've got different screws on there, little cap there and things. It's nice nevertheless. There isn't really that much you can do with it, but yeah, it's the Dalek power core, so that's a nice piece, but just not that interesting, really, is it? Then we have the minutest things in the world. These are actually still in the bag. I probably won't even get them out because they'll just be really hard to fiddle with and actually show you. It'll be easier this way. But we do have a bag of 4 keys of Marinus, which is nice. I believe there was actually 4 in the episode. It was like a 4-parter, and they got a key to Marinus, each individual story. But yeah, these are nice little intricate pieces, as you can see there. But I've not really found, as of yet, a hand that can actually hold them. So yeah, but they are a nice little addition nevertheless. We're still going with accessories. We now have Marco Polo's walking stick, possibly one of the most used accessories of the first Doctor. We've got this in Marco Polo. As you can see, the wood effect, really well done. You can sort of see how much the character options version is quite inaccurate, but as you can see, on the detailing there, we do have little lumps and bumps and things to really make it look like wild wood. Then we have the curling effect, which I do really like. And then we sort of have the use of, I don't know, some type of hollowed out deer horn or something with a little capsule there at the end. And that is really nice, and you can get him to hold that with different poses and things, which is cool. Then we have his monocle. Now, this does actually go around his neck, as you can see. It's not really that much to talk about. It's a monocle. It's got a little magnifying piece in that does actually work with a little ribbon on, and we will put that round him in a second. And then the final piece is, in fact, his little spectacles. Now, I have a problem with mine. As you can see, they're in fact broken. I've glued them, but it turns out that a lot of the first editions of these actually got broken in the packaging, unfortunately. But I did actually contact Big Chief, and they were very helpful, and they did say, yep, they've seen the problem, and they've actually got the company who made the glasses to hopefully make some more, and they will be getting some new ones to me by April, and they did actually suggest how to fix them as well. So that was a really nice response, and I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, it is a little bit bent, but they do sort of work still a little bit, but obviously they are a bit warped. So there we are. I've just spent a few minutes popping in a few of the parts, as you can see, and the glasses, do sort of ignore them. I just wanted to put them on to sort of show you. But yeah, they aren't really at their full potential due to the problem that they have, but that will be fixed soon. But they do look good. And we have the monocle there wrapped around his neck, and then just moving back the jacket, we do have his little pocket watch there dangling out of there. We have his walking stick, which is held nicely, and of course, my favourite, the smoking pipe. We're taking a look at the base now. Now, it is pretty generic, and it is following the exact same as all the other Doctors released, except the original 11th Doctor, I do believe. So yeah, this is a rather nice design. It's just sort of hexagonal, really. Oh, look, there's me in the camera. Hello. So yeah, this is rather nice. It's got Doctor Who in the bottom and things, and then we have, of course, the secure piece there, which is rather nice, and the mirror is nice too. Then just sliding on the figure is easy. All you need to do is pop it in that region, which I do feel sorry for him sometimes. But yeah, there we are, and the figure is nicely supported there, which is cool, isn't it? And I'm pretty much very certain that it won't fall over. And this is actually light up, so let's do a dark transition. There we are, that's dark, isn't it? You can probably just about see it, but using this little thing at the back, oh, it's still reflecting. Using the little switch at the back, there we are. We just have the little girlfriend seal for number 1, which I've heard. That is actually really nice. I do like that feature. But it doesn't really work as a light. It's not exactly something to shine onto the figure, as it doesn't give no light off at all, really. You will be better off with just a glow-in-the-dark sticker, really. It doesn't give no physical light off, but it's just a nice little feature, I guess. And believe it or not, we're still not done with things that this product comes with. This is basically the certificate items. So I didn't notice this to start with, but we just have this like nice little book there that sort of goes that this is to certify and all that. That's nice, isn't it? You know, just a little label to sit next to it, the little card. And then we have the plaque. Once again, it's just sort of the plastic as normal. And then at the front there we have the sort of this is to certify once again that this is a thing. And then I'm really happy because I got the 6th one ever made. I thought that was really cool as well. The 6th Doctor is my favourite Doctor, so it's a sign, isn't it? But yeah, I'm quite happy to get one of the first ones ever made. I don't know why, but every time I've got something limited, it's always been in the hundreds, and it's nice to actually have a little thing that's actually quite one of the first ones ever made. And then the thing that makes this issue very special, with it being commemorative and all that, is of course William Hartnell is sadly no longer with us, so we can't physically get a signature from his Doctor, but we do get a booklet here, which when we do open, it does actually have 2 signed prints. These are real prints as well, so that's good. If you went to a convention, these would probably be at least £20 each. So yeah, they're nice and glossy and things, and as you can see, we have a signature of William Russell, who played Ian Chesterton, and Carol Ann Ford, who of course played Susan. So yeah, we have some lovely images there with the diamond effect. I'm probably going to get these framed because they are really nice little pieces, and yeah, it's a good little addition to the set, isn't it? And if you're wondering, these can actually pop out because they are sort of printed photos in a way, and but obviously this has actually been inked in with Sharpie. So yeah, they are really 2 really nice signatures. I guess it means I have 2 more companions in autograph form to my collection. So overall for this product, quite frankly, this is the centerpiece to my collection. And no, I am not saying that just because of the price. Yes, I did feel guilty for buying it because you can buy so many things for that amount of money, and it is an amazing product. It's got a ton of quality, just amazingness with this product, and just down from the head sculpt to the tethering on the costume and all the different material that was made to use that, all of the accessories, everything that's came with it, the scarf, even the box, even down to the little keys of Marinus, every single product in this set was guaranteed to be quality, and I definitely bought it, and I opened it, and I was very happy with my purchase. I would like to end this review by thanking Big Chief Studios, because I rang up a few weeks ago asking about this product, and in that phone call, I did feel very well informed. I also felt welcome as well. I felt that they were happy to answer my questions. I generally came away from that phone call being rather happy because I knew what I wanted to know now. And it got to the point on Friday, whilst I was at school, my dad actually ordered this for me, and it came on recorded delivery with DHL, and it arrived on Monday. And if there wasn't the Sunday, it probably would have arrived on Sunday as well, because it was in my local depot by the day after it was ordered, which I thought was an amazing response, actually. And it probably would have came a day earlier if it wasn't for Sunday, so it would have literally arrived on the Saturday, which I think is baffling. It just came overnight practically. So yeah, amazing customer service. So I'd like to thank them for being very happy, and an amazing company. But yeah, overall, this product is absolutely amazing. And in my 9 years of collecting Doctor Who products, although this is the thing that I spent the most amount of money on in my entire life, it was definitely worth it. And as I said, everything in this set is absolute quality. If you've not seen my channel before, you can probably guarantee there are people watching this who have never even seen any of my videos before, because this is quite a different and wider area. So yeah, I do Doctor Who reviews quite regularly. This is in fact my first ever Big Chief product, so I do hope this review has been up to your standards, and I hope I've covered everything. But if I haven't covered anything and there's something that I've missed and you would like to know about, I'm very happy to see your questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them if you have any questions or queries. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you have, please do give it a big like, and please subscribe if you're not already. As I said, if you have any questions, please do leave them below, and I'll be sure to answer them at some point in the near future. Thanks again for watching, and I shall see you all very soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, and bye for now.